What's going on, guys? Sir Grayson here today, and I'm bringing you a discussion piece on the future of Pokemon and which console it belongs on, the 3DS or the Switch. So to start this out, I'd like to take a look at the pros and cons of each system and why Pokemon belongs on one over the other. Now, just to denote, I'm not someone who gives a single crap about max graphics or whatever. So that's not really going to factor in much to this video. No, I'm really more concerned with which Pokemon would do best on which console Pokemon would do the best on. And so to start out, let's take a look at Pokemon's history with console versus handhelds. Now, as most people know, the mainline Pokemon games have always been on a handheld console, starting off with the OG Game Boy and moving all the way up to the current gen on the 3DS. Pokemon has had a rich history of being a handheld title, but that doesn't mean it's never been on a console. During the N64's reign, Pokemon saw multiple side spin-off games appear on the console, such as Stadium, Stadium 2, Snap, and Hey You Pikachu. And since then, Pokemon has gotten a multitude of other games put on consoles, such as Battle Revolutions, Coliseum, XD Gale of Darkness, as well as a handful of others such as Rumble, Pokken, the Pokemon Tekken crossover. But to be 100% clear on what we're talking about, this is specifically the mainline franchise, more so than other side titles. So why even bring this up? Well, it's pretty clear the Pokemon mainline games go on a handheld, right? But here's the catch. The Switch is, in a way, kind of a handheld. Yes, you can use it on your TV, but a huge part of its marketing was the fact that you can play it away from the television. And with the addition of a Pokemon game being confirmed for the Switch, some people have been asking if this is the end of Pokemon on the 3DS. And in my personal opinion, I kind of doubt it. Well, yes, at first it may seem redundant. Why have two handhelds? Why keep Pokemon on two separate consoles? Nintendo has never had any problem cross-promoting its consoles, using Pokemon as a great example. In the third generation of Pokemon, we got our first glimpse of Hoenn and the Pokemon it had to offer us. We also got a great Gen 1 remake, allowing us to go back and check out and explore some of our favorite Pokemon again. But there was a problem. They didn't actually wind up getting all the Pokemon in Gens 1 through 3 into these games on their new Gen console, the Game Boy Advance. So, how do we fix this problem? Well, enter Pokemon Coliseum and the GameCube. Fun fact about Pokemon Coliseum and Gale of Darkness is that all the Pokemon they couldn't fit into Fire Red and Leaf Green, Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire were placed in these games to make it possible for you to really catch them all in Gen 3. But only if you owned both consoles. Marketing. So, with that in mind, we can see that could actually be beneficial to have two consoles for Nintendo, but the Switch is portable and the GameCube wasn't. And while that's true, the same principle still applies, with so many people having already owned a 3DS or one of its variants for a while, and the Switch being the new kid on the block, it seems rather limiting to only have Pokemon on the Switch. But if you had some kind of interlinking Pokemon games on the Switch and 3DS, then people who love Pokemon and own a 3DS would be highly invested and incentivized to buy a Switch as well if they haven't already. So, where does that leave us in terms of speculation about this new game, set to be out on the Switch? Well, if we think this through, Pokemon typically has two sets of games that come out ever since Gen 3. Originally, we had Ruby and Sapphire, then later we were given Fire Red and Leaf Green. Later in Gen 4, we had Diamond and Pearl, followed by the Gen 2 remakes. Gen 5, we had Black and White, then Black and White 2. In Gen 6, we had X and Y, followed by third generation remakes. And in Gen 7, we had Sun and Moon, and now Ultra Sun and Moon. So, from this, we can see an established pattern. Mainline games, remakes or secondary versions of mainline titles, and maybe a random fifth game like Emerald or Platinum thrown in for shits and giggles once in a while. But what does it all mean? Well, if we were to assume that the Pokemon were to remain at least partly on the 3DS, then my speculation is simply this. It's my guess, and that's all it really is, that Gen 8 games will come out on the 3DS, but perhaps the remakes or the game's definitive versions, such as the likes of Emerald or Platinum, would be released on the Nintendo Switch in its stead. This, as we discussed earlier, would properly promote people to have both consoles, but wouldn't wind up alienating people who already owned a 3DS but don't have a Switch. Either way, this is all just my own predictions for the franchise's future. Let me know in the comment section down below. Are you excited for the idea of a Switch game? Do you hope Pokemon mostly remains on the 3DS, or does it really not matter to you either way? Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Hope to see you guys then. Peace.